So as you can tell from the fact that I sound like I have a wheezing frog stuck in my throat, I've been sick for the past 2 weeks. On top of it, despite the fact that it looks absolutely gorgeous today, and let me remind you, is a Wednesday day in the middle of a work week, is being terrible on weekends. It's been raining and gray every single weekend for like the last 3, I think. So I haven't really been able to get very much riding in. But you're not really here to listen to me whine, were you? You're here to hear all about the Nicola demo. So why don't we get on with the show? Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
This week we get to demo the Gotway NIKOla and MTen3, which is surprisingly amazing, but no, Nicola, that's what you're here for. And yes, I'll tell you what my ultra-wide Z10 addicted brain think of this wheel. And yes, group rides, plus reckless antics from the New York City EUC crew that even impressed a bunch of millennial skateboarders. Now that had to count for something. Roll the intro. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit that like button. This has been, I think, the 3rd weekend in a row when it's being wet. And unfortunately, I always have been incompatible with rain. I never know what to do when it's wet out. And when I was talking to my coworker, they said, you know, it's a nice weekend for you to relax and sit at home. Sit at home and do what? See, that's my problem. I can't seem to sit still.
But thankfully, the rain let up just in time for the demo. First of all, shout out to EUC.NYC and Dimitri, who's the man behind the only electric unicycle shop here in the New York City. It's a one-man operation, however, you know, come on, you get to try out a wheel before you actually commit to buy.
First of all, to preface, you gotta understand that since my regular ride is the 9-bot Z10, a black sheep amongst the likes of the Tishawn 18 XL or the popular Gotway M Super X. And when I say that, I mean in terms of ride quality. Since the 9-bot Z10 have the distinction of having the widest tire ever made for an electric unicycle, it handles and feels very different than just about any other wheel that's currently on market. And as a result, my opinion is pretty heavily skewed. As a matter of fact, I had a chance to test out Tishawn's 100-volt Gotway Monster and did not find that wheel to be large or unwieldy in any way, because despite its much larger wheel diameter, the weight is actually not much more than that of the 9-bot Z10. As a matter of fact, I think might be a chance that wheel would be the next electric unicycle that I want to get. That is, if I can find about $2,800 worth of pennies in my couch cushion, since, oh my god, this is an expensive hobby. I have no idea how you wheel collector are able to do it out there. And the reason why I'm thinking about the Monster is that I think of the Gotway 22-inch Speed Demon as sort of a peak example of the traditional thinner wheel electric unicycle. A much more on-rail, stable, and predictable ride. I mean, Tishawn swear by his, and as you'll see, he does some pretty crazy stunts, so there's that. And oh, it's tall and supposedly comfortable to sit on. Might be nice for a longer ride. Anyway, enough of me trying to talk myself into spending more money. The group met in the Riverside Park. Early season plus the rain means that we pretty much got the spot to ourselves, which is nice. There's nothing like a group of 10 plus unicycle riders that would get the crowd gawking. And there it is, the star of the show, Gotway NIKOLA.
Now the look of the Nicola is, shall we say, polarizing, which is, I guess, my way of saying that I'm not exactly hot on the way it looks. The thing is, I really think that there ought to be a correlation between design form and what the product is meant to convey.
The Ducati Panigale isn't just curvy and flowy only for the sake of aerodynamic. Its sculpted form is more intended to convey the sense that this is a machine that is capable of channeling tremendous power into speed and pure Italian thoroughbred excitement. There's a reason why every single Ducati ad always shows the bike in red. The Nicola, on the other hand, looked like a giant Roomba with disco lights. What is it trying to say? That it will clean my rugs just as well? I know design never being a thing for Gotway, and I applaud the fact that they're trying something, whatever it is. Anyhow, performance and speed, that's what they're known for. This shell is just a piece of plastic that happened to encase the wheel, and if it looked a bit like a LED covered potato, that never bothered the hardcore Gotway fans. The wheel is wide and very bulky, and this coming from a guy that rides and handles the Z10, so you know it's for real. The scorpion style folding trolley on the top is fine, but the handle makes no sense since it's too wide for you to actually grab the wheel by it. No matter, since you'll never carry the wheel by its handle anyway, right?
Now in theory, the Nicola is like a tinier version of the Z10. It has a wider 3-inch wheel, a more powerful 2000 watt motor, and theoretically more torque since it has a smaller wheel diameter. However, in reality, it doesn't quite feel like that. The casing around the wheel feels a lot larger, taller, deeper, and just kind of bulkier. There is also this strange sense of hollowness to the entire assembly. It may have something to do with the fact that the battery on the Nicola isn't as deeply recessed into the wheel well as the one on the Z10.
Also, I'm not sure what the true dimension of the wheel is, but it don't feel that much skinnier than a Z10. The ride quality of the 9-bot have been compared to rolling a mini boulder down the street, and there's a sense of solidity to the Z10. I'm quite used to pressing the wheel while turning. The sand technique immediately felt wrong on the Nicola. It felt like I'm riding a skinny wheel inside of a very thick box, and somehow it feels a little bit disconnected. Again, the Z10 is an unusual wheel. Despite its width, your leg is actually pretty close to the edge of the tire itself, given the battery configuration. So if you're used to riding a Gotway, the Nicola probably feels no different than the M Super X. Now, in regards to the torque and acceleration, it's also a little bit hard to tell. I suspect that the wheel was set on a soft setting for the demo to keep us out of trouble, since it feels pretty soft and sluggish despite the reported 2000 watt motor, so there's that. Now this guy, on the other hand, the Gotway MTen3, is like a crazy monkey bike. It was so tiny that I totally had to readjust how to get on and ride an electric unicycle, since I was quite used to wedging my knee against the top of the wheel, and the MTen3 was so small that I barely reached my knees. It had a 10-inch wheel and an impressive 800 watt motor with a top speed of 25 miles per hour. But it was so twitchy I can hardly imagine ever going that fast on this little wheel. Now, I always had a soft spot for tiny wheels. I mean, I love my i5, and I guess the MTen3 came close, but the thinness of the i5 plus its sub 20 pound weight made it actually hand carryable. Now I'm not quite sure if the same could be said of the 22-pound MTen3, and you had to carry it since it also lacked a trolley handle. Plus, I think the 10-inch wheel would likely have a hard time with the pothole-ridden street that is the norm here in New York City. Now, if only they can stuff the 800-watt motor and the larger battery inside of the i5.
So overall impressions, not particularly memorable, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, based on the limited amount of time that I get to spend with the wheel, it kind of reminds me very much of the Tesla. If you are more familiar with the skinnier tire and larger body style wheels, this might be, totally down your alley. But personally, it didn't really do anything for me.
Anyhow, we all had to turn on the Nicola, and since it stayed dry, we figured that we ought to take advantage of the break and go for a group ride onto the skate park.
Sure? I'm second guessing. I think I can do it. As long as I come straight, I can do it. Alright, man.
Anyhow, that was it for this week. Hopefully the weather improved and I will actually get better from this persistent cold that I have. I promise not to give it to you through this video. I hope. As always, I love to know what you think, so please leave your comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Until the next video, thank you.